You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys. And today, we've got a couple of guest interviews today. We got some back-to-back shows going on for you guys today. And we're going to start right off the bat with my man, Justin McDaniel, down in Atlanta, Georgia, and Sugar Hill, Georgia. So, Justin, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing good, bud. We're shooting this podcast late night. You and I have been messaging back and forth last couple of weeks, and I've been reaching out to some of you guys. I said I want to get more people on the show, so Justin, you are a great guy on Instagram. We've been getting to know each other a little bit. Why don't you get these guys up to speed really quick? You're a younger guy, and it's going to be great to hear your startup story.
All right, yeah. So I would probably say that I've always known I was going to be an entrepreneur. that was in my blood. Yeah. I've bled it. I've dreamed it, and I made it happen. The hardest part is finding what you want to do. And I found my love for landscaping when I was working for a big corporate company, hated it, and started pushing a mower on the side and found out I absolutely fell in love with that kind of work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's always been a dream of mine to be something great and to make an impact in this world. I've always gone out of my way to, like, if there's a homeless person, go in the gas station and buy them some food. Mm-hmm. Or if they don't have like a jacket or something like that and it's cold, I'll give them the shirt off my back. That's just the kind of person I was raised to be. And like I said, I'm blessed, so I like to give. Yeah. That's just who I am.
That's awesome.
But thank you. Yeah, I started my company back in right before I graduated high school, and I had a 15-year-old push mower and a 15-year-old weed eater, and I used the weed eater to blow the driveways. I ran out of a Honda Civic. So if you think you can do it, you can do it. You just got to believe in yourself.
Awesome, man. So 1997 Honda Civic, is that what you said?
It was actually a 2007.
Okay, 2007 Honda Civic. That's awesome, man. So you got started at 18 and now you're 23, and you said you've been in business for almost 5 seasons now, or 5 years now?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. So take us back to your story. What, you were 18 years old. Where did you do lawn care landscaping before, or were you going to go to college, or what was your reason for getting into the green industry?
I needed something else other than a big corporate job, and I needed something that actually brought in that I got paid for the hard work that I did. I'm sure there's great corporations out there that you could work for and be happy with, but it takes away your freedom, in my perspective, of just what I can achieve. And that's been my biggest goal, is to achieve the biggest thing I possibly can. At 18 years old, with big dreams, big ambitions, just wanting to go get them, I have a mentor, and he mentored me a little bit at the beginning, and then eventually I just, grew my wings and flew.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you got started in the lawn care landscaping business at 18. How did you know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? How did you know to do it through a lawn and landscaping business, or what got you started in the green industry?
I was just shooting in the dark, trying to find something, anything. I'm a computer programmer. It was so boring. I got my degree from Emory University when I was 14. So wow. I loved computer programming until I hated it. And then I started running in cross country and track, and found out that I really loved the outside. And then after I found out I loved the outside, then that led to me wanting to figure out, okay, what could I do outside? My father-in-law is a general contractor, and he was the biggest inspiration to me for starting a business. He helped me try to shoot a couple ideas, but I didn't do construction. That was a different animal. And at that point, then I've gotten a little bit of training in business with him, because he's been in the business for 30 years. So I found out how to do business, and then I was working one day at a grocery store, and this man comes up to me. He and I just, when you see someone and you can talk to them, and that it's almost like a really good vibe, and they actually care. I got to asking him what he did for a living, and he said he cut lawns. I was like, okay, well, what's that like? He said, let me get your phone number and I'll show you exactly what it's like.
Really?
So that was kind of my intro. He taught me from pushing a mower to blowing and all that jazz. And
wow.
From there, he was a really good, patient teacher.
Yeah.
And that was really what I needed, was someone to teach me something that was teach me how to be me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah. At this point, I've got employees doing a lot of the work for me. So I more deal with the customer service and the bookkeeping and the back work, you know.
Okay.
Best part about that is I still deal with the customers. I still deal with the clients. It's still personal, and I still get to sell.
Yeah.
That's always something that I've loved with selling. Whether I was selling a sandwich or whether I was selling a pizza or whether I was selling a lawn service, you know?
That's awesome.
So
Man.
if you get into sales, if you're just starting out in the industry and you're just trying to learn, the first thing you got to do is you just got to do it. You've got to figure out how to go knock on doors, put door hangers if that's what you need to do. Go send emails to property management companies. Go, be hungry. Push yourself to be better than everyone else that's in your area.
Yeah.
And that's how you become successful. Because I figured out what I could do that other people couldn't. I have a personality that a lot of people really enjoy, because with me, I'm a straight shooter. I'm not going to give you the runaround. I'm not going to. If you say, "Hey, Justin, I'd like you to do our mulch maybe on Saturday at 4:00." All right, see you then. You know?
Yeah.
Or, "Hey, Justin, why weren't you here when we had a appointment?" Well, I had this, and this going on. Unfortunately, sometimes with the weather, it will push you back, and you've got to tell your clients that's the number one thing you got to do, is learn how to be really, really understanding and really just be the best person you can possibly be, whether it be in sales or just be a friend to your clients. And I've found that that's been extremely helpful for me.
Yeah.
That I have relationships where I'm not sure how close you get to your clients, but I've been to weddings of my clients' daughters or whatever.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's a good relationship right there.
It is. And like I said, I'm super blessed because of it, because I can make a relationship. I mean, I've got clients I've had since I first started, even before I had my LLC, before I was just pushing a mower.
Sure.
I've had these clients for years. Why? Because I've gotten really good at being a good customer service representative, might you call me?
Yeah. I just did a podcast not too long ago talking about customer service and why it's important and treating people right. Let me ask you this: for your guys' company, you're in Georgia area, the greater Georgia metro, Atlanta area. What you guys do, more lawn maintenance or more landscaping, or what's your guys' forte for your business right now?
During the summertime is when the heavy growth is going on, right? During spring, summer, and fall, we've got a lot of maintenance that we do. And then during the wintertime, that's when I schedule all my landscaping. I've still got commercial properties that tide me over during the wintertime, and those pay my bills, thank God.
Sure.
I do a lot more landscaping during the wintertime and a lot more maintenance. Maintenance is definitely my primary business.
And you got a couple different zero-turn mowers and some of the walk-behind units. What are you guys rocking down there in Atlanta? You guys rocking Exmark, Skag, Toro? What do you guys use?
Exmark and Toro. Honestly, I think they're both great mowers for, depending on, everyone has their own preference, and I probably wouldn't get into that, but I run both right now, and I'll be switching to one eventually. And really, you should, if you're getting into the industry, you should really try them out before you buy them. If you go to like an Ace, sorry?
That's a great tip. Demo.
Yes, for sure. If you go to Ace Hardware, they're always willing to give you a demo. And hey, this is what I want, a 52-inch Toro zero-turn mower. What do you got one? Let's get that. Let's get a demo going. And if they don't have it, they get their Toro representative, and they come out and bring you a mower. That's awesome.
Yeah. I always encourage people to do demos of different mowers because, like, even if you're in the same region or state, like your lawns might be more hilly or somebody else might be more flat, and so some people are like, well, I need a mower that's really good on hills, and zero turns are great, but maybe you want a standard, maybe you want to walk behind big old 52-inch turf tracer, for a bunch of hills and municipalities. Maybe you want a Ventrac, that's really, really cool. How many clients are you guys up to right now, and then what's your business look like day to day, week to week?
If I were to guess, I'd probably say we're somewhere around 150 to 200 right now, but I wouldn't say that. So when you got 4 guys, it's pretty easy to knock those out.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
During the summertime, you've got so many calls coming in, and that's why I stepped back from my business last year, was because I had so many calls coming in. I was missing clients. I can always hire another person. I can always find another client, but you're losing money. Each person, I try to put a dollar figure on each lawn. And that's the way you figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to make. If you have 100 clients, then you make $100 a month or something to that effect. It's so easy to figure out your annual revenue. And okay, this is how I'm a very strict budgeter, and that's how I think I contribute a lot of my successes. Well, budgeting, that's so important.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you should never forget that you shouldn't put a price on what a piece of equipment is. You should put a price on how much it's going to make you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like, for instance, I bought my Toro zero turn mower, 52-inch. I paid it in cash, $9,500. So far, I've probably, if I were to guess, made over 60.
Yeah.
And I bought it last year. It's the numbers are there to support it. So if you can, get a loan, an interest-free loan, is what Ace offered me from, I think it was Citibank. No, or actually it was Toro Xmark. It was a Toro Xmark credit card. And they have some wonderful, wonderful promotions for people who are smaller, who might not necessarily have the $9,000 to spend, but you can make payments on it over the next 4 or 5 years if you'd like.
Yeah. So you found that the ability to scale your business has really, helped you grow and expand. How some of these guys out there, they're 18, 19, 20, 21. How do they get, 50, 100, 150 clients? Are you having the guys go out and mow while you're busy making sales and building those customer relationships like you were talking about at the beginning?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. I know some people might cringe at this, but I'm a 5-star Home Advisor Pro. I've been with Home Advisor for a long time. For 5 years now. And I've done absolutely wonderful. I'll swear by them. And I know a lot of people hate them because they're pretty expensive, but they helped me get from absolutely nothing to I'm doing very well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So I've got Home Advisor, I've got Thumbtack. Everyone should research these kinds of lead generating websites, or even at least just make a company website at the very minimum. I've got that too, and I have a search engine optimization company that takes care of all of the the website stuff. So I don't have to be smart enough to do that.
Sure. Well, I know the people that love Home Advisor and the Lawn Gurus, and those people love them, and then the people who don't like them. I'm personally more in the camp of I don't like those guys because they bug the what out of me. But in the tongue in cheek, I know a lot of guys do like them, and they've helped with some good leads and good jobs. So you're busy just marketing the business like crazy, and then how do you keep all your guys moving? If you got 4 guys running, do you have 1 crew, 2 crews? Like, how do you keep a bunch of other 18, 20-year-old kids motivated and working for you?
Everyone is hungry. Everyone wants to make money, and I pay really well for good work.
Sure.
And that's really important because ultimately, at the end of the day, if you are not in the driver's seat of your vehicle, running that zero-turn mower at the properties, that means that you're depending on the other people to run your company for you, my personal philosophy is the people who work as hard as they do for me, put in, they're always willing to do, 8 to 12-hour days. Always. I hand out bonuses. I give raises. Here's an interesting thing that I do. When it's your birthday, I give you the day off and
cool.
pay you for the whole 8 hours. If it is your birthday, you can, and you feel like you want to work, all right, you still get paid for that extra 8 hours, but you still got those hours that you worked in the truck they'll pay you for. So it's things like that your employees are the most, I hate to say it like this, but they're the most important thing in your company.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not you, it is them. I can hand off sales to one of my employees. They know how to estimate the properties. They know how to do the work. They know how to, this and that. At this point, they are the most, in my opinion, they are, the queen of the chess set. They are super, super important.
That's awesome, man. Well, good for you. I'm pumped. You're 23 and fired up, bud. And
yes, sir.
Did you say that you graduated high school or your degree at 14 or college degree at 14? Or what did you say at 14?
I went to Emory University. I got a degree at C++. So, then I graduated high school at normal time. I guess 19 years old was when I graduated, but
yeah, that's awesome.
High school specifically. But yeah, I mean, I used to love computer programming until I hated it.
Sure.
It's just, can you imagine being on the computer all day trying to figure out a source code to a computer that it's throwing up 50 errors and you have no idea what's wrong.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as one line of code.
Sure.
If that makes it easier to understand, there's a lot of lines and a lot of crap that you have to go through in order to figure out the right program. With this, I have the program down pat. I do the sales. I add it to the schedule. My guys go on their route, and at the end of the day, I just say thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, good for you. Well, it sounds like you got it going on, dude. I'm really excited for you. And, this upcoming season, if you can keep the same, secret sauce going and have another great year, I'm sure you guys will down there in Sugar Hill. I'm sure it'll be just another record-setting year for you. We're going to button up right here because I got to get running myself. So we got a hard stop, as my friend Paul calls it. But actually, tonight is date night for the wife. So I'm about 1 minute. Okay. I'm 1 minute over right now. And I said, I'm going to bang on a couple podcasts tonight and then spend some time with her. Something new that we're doing is Tuesday night, day night. So question for you, any words of advice or any last minute tips or nuggets that you want to leave the audience while we got you?
All right. How about this? I'll tell you my biggest regret. My biggest regret is not going to the store, not going and applying for that credit card and not getting that zero-turn mower as soon as I started my business. When I got that zero-turn mower, it changed. I mean, literally, we were doing only 8 or 9 lawns a day. Sometimes, we could fit up to like 13. But when I got that zero-turn mower and I got all the nice equipment, it's worth spending the money. Because, you go from 9 lawns a day to, we've banged out 45. Spend the money. If you're passionate about the lawn maintenance, landscaping industry, just go out there, get hungry, and get selling. Basically, spend that money on that equipment. You're spending money on equipment that's going to take care of your clients. Your clients deserve the best equipment, the best service possible.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what I would say to anyone that's getting ready to start.
Amen to that. That's good info right there, bud. When I first had my walk behind lawnmower, it was $5,000. It was, to me, it might as well have been $1 million bucks. I remember first getting my first zero-turn mower, and it was 3 years after I got my walk behind mower. So we're 3+ years into this bad boy, and I'm like, man, if I would have got a zero turn, how much faster, how much sooner, how much quicker, how much bigger. Yeah. But back then it was $10,000, and that might as well have been $100,000. I didn't have 10, I didn't have 100, so it didn't make any difference. But I remember getting that first zero turn, and the bottleneck in my business just opened up like gangbusters. And so I can relate, bud. That's awesome. So, well,
Absolutely.
Well, hey, we really appreciate you being on the show. I wanted to get a couple different folks on the show, different perspectives, different age groups. You don't have to have some huge social media following to get on the podcast. We just want to hear some good stories, some good success, and just some inspiration for the next guy that's trying to make it happen as well, right, Justin? So,
Of course.
We just want to say thanks for being on the show, man. We're gonna button it up right here, but thanks again for. Hey, if people want to follow up with you, if they want to, connect with you on Facebook or Instagram, where can folks find you?
So basically, you could pretty easily find me on Instagram at Alpha ALPHAONE Lawn LAWN.
Okay.
And that's my Instagram tag. Facebook Justin Dean McDaniel or Justin McDaniel, I believe. It's pretty easy to just look up a company, Alpha One Lawn Maintenance.
Yeah.
I do all of the posting and whatnot. It's really easy to find me on there.
I like it, man. Awesome. Well, good deal. Well, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate the perspective. And again, wish you guys nothing but the best for this upcoming 2021 season, brother. So, all right. Well, we'll button it up right here. If you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave those all important ratings and reviews. But we got another back-to-back episode that we're going to tag up here right now and just transition to that episode where we got another young gentleman named Andrew that was on the show that we're going to kick on over to. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for this first half of the show. Let's continue with Andrew, and we'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Before we jump over to Brian's interview with Andrew Roth and hear from Ballard Products, our all-important show sponsor, let me suggest that you strongly take a look at purchasing the whole ball of wax over at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. Sure, you can watch hundreds of Brian's videos, and I'm sure he'd like for you to do that, or listen to the entire back catalog of podcasts and learn most everything in the whole ball of wax. But guys, the season's upon us. Your wife probably wants you spending time with her, not watching hour after hour of YouTube furiously taking notes. Brian's done the work for you. There's a logical progression and distillation of ideas and concepts that can make you a lawn bro rock star out of the gate. I know I'm supposed to underpromise and overdeliver, but for less than $1,000, everything at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. Also, the 2 courses and the Q&A webinar from the Hardscape Academy are thrown in, and 2 one-on-one coaching calls with Brian, all yours to rocket your business this year. The link's in the podcast description, and the deal will be over soon. Ballard Innovative Products is a full line of gear for the lawn and landscape professional. From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, X-blades, aluminum baggers, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Check out Ballard-Inc.com to help dominate and elevate your business. Ballard Innovative Products. With over 20 years of selling accessories and 30 years in the business, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. We appreciate the support and look forward to serving you this season. Stay safe and keep grinding, friends. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% at Ballard-Inc.com.
Lawns, lessons, and live. This is the Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast. Now, your host, Brian Fullerton.
Well, today we have a guest on the show that we've been messaging back and forth and getting to know each other on Instagram, and that is Andrew. Is it Roth or Roth? How do you say your last name, Andrew?
Roth, R-O-F-F.
So Andrew Roth. Awesome, man. Well, welcome to the show. We are going to talk a little bit about your business startup story. You're a younger guy and just getting your feet wet. And we wanted to just hear your perspective, something different, man. So welcome to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. But why don't you get these guys up to speed for a quick minute or two? Just give them your stats, and then we'll kind of go down the rabbit hole a little bit, talking about your business story.
I'm from Rockland County, New York. It's about 45 minutes northeast of New York City. I have 2 lawns right now, more coming in the spring, obviously, hopefully, if everything goes right. I don't even have a truck, but that'll happen eventually with time. I still currently work full-time and part-time.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the season, but I'm hoping it grows, but we'll see how it takes.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What do you do right now for full-time work or part-time work? What else do you do outside of the lawn care thing?
during winter, just because I dropped out of school and I didn't want to I was in limbo with everything. So I first went and got I'm going for my CDL in the spring, and then I also work part-time at a ice rink locally to May every Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And then when the spring starts, I'll work at a local town for Parks and Rec, 40 hours a week.
Okay, cool deals.
Full-time week.
So you're cutting grass and doing landscaping anyway during the summer for last year or two, and then you decided to cut grass on your own. What made you want to start your own lawn care business, man, and get things going on your own?
What happened for me was I was 14. I was in 8th grade. I was working for my dad doing like basement renovation. We were doing the whole entire thing. It was like 1,200 square feet. And I said to myself, I like this a lot more than school. Obviously, the project ran out. We got done with it. And I didn't have any more like work kind of scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up connecting with a local person I knew and started cutting grass with him at 15. I'd do like firewood. I did leaf cleanups, a lot of snow. I'd always do snow. I did hedge trimming, mowing, everything. And it was all only when it worked for me, not him. And then the 2 summers after that, I lifeguarded for a local town doing whatever. And then this past summer, I worked for a local town that I'm going back to this year.
Okay.
And I liked it. I didn't like it at first as much as I do now, just because I really wasn't sure about it. But it's something that now is a big idea for me.
That's awesome.
That I'm very happy with.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good for you. Well, on your Instagram, we were looking. I was looking at it, and it's, showing some of your work out there. Looks like you're cutting grass. What some of the properties look like that you guys are maintaining? Are you guys doing more rural properties, more subdivisions, and then what's your lawn care equipment setup look like?
The houses I do, one of them is like probably a quarter to half an acre. I really don't know. I haven't measured it really at all, or gotten a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them is a 50 by like 100 wide house. It's in the middle of like a village area. So
Okay.
it's very small. Like I'm in and out of it whenever I do it.
Nice. Okay. And what are you doing now? What are you using for equipment to cut grass? I mean, you're a young guy just getting your business started and looking to, grow this thing over time. I think you were saying you have some X-Mark mowers and some other trimmers and blowers. So what does your equipment look like right now?
When I first started, I was using a Toro Super Recycler. I had my father's, which is all my dad's equipment, but I had a Toro Super Recycler. I had a Ryobi Weed Whacker, and I had a Red Max EB. I don't even know. It's the lowest one you could buy, but 10 years ago.
Okay.
And all of it worked, but it's obviously not commercial equipment.
Sure.
That like summer in like July, which is last summer, I bought a Red Max Weed Eater, a bigger like commercial grade one, which made the time go from it cut the time down in half.
Sure.
Just because of how the power was and everything. And then leaf cleanups this year, I bought an 8500 or 8550 now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we had the 24-inch snowstorm in New York, the guy I was working for was the same guy I was buying the mower from. And I worked so many hours with him that he basically gave me the mower in exchange for pay.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I now have a 48-inch belt drive walk behind.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Well, that'll open up some doors for you, for sure.
Yeah. I have a minivan, and then I wasn't running a trailer previously because it could all fit. But now I'm doing, I got to get a trailer this spring and then put a tow hitch on the car and I'll be down the road.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Now, do you do snow removal too, or just the lawn care?
No. I do snow. I would do it kind of like after storm. I had a Toro snowblower and I would do my driveways after I'd be done with him. So I'd be out at like 10 o'clock at night shoveling or snow blowing a driveway, depending on what I could do and if it was a hill or not. I'd just take care of my driveways.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Which, what do you like doing more for lawn care or the snow removal? Do you like being outdoors in the summer or, bundling up in the winter and moving that snow?
Personally, I prefer fall cleanups.
Fall cleanups,
Fall
okay.
cleanups are my favorite.
Why is that?
Because you're not too hot, you're not too cold, but you're still working, and the ground isn't just frozen. So
Yeah, amen. I would have to say that fall is probably my favorite season up here in the Midwest, in Michigan at least. I love, like you said, it's sweater weather. Is that what they say? And I love how the weather is not too hot, not too cold, like you just said. It's 60, 70 degrees, and the colors are still really pretty, and then we basically go in for the rest of the year in for 3 or 4 months in Michigan, at least, How was your guys' winter this last, 3 or 4 months? I know we're kind of wrapping things up with it, but it's been a pretty good winter for us up here in Michigan. And I know you guys were getting some good snowstorms. So how did things go for you guys this year?
So originally we had the December storm, which was like 12 inches, whatever, like a very basic storm. And then we had a couple 1 to 2 inch storms in January, nothing to write home about. And then we got slammed with the 24-inch storm.
Yeah.
That was for us, 3 to 4 day storm,
Sure.
4 hours.
Sure.
Where the people listening probably know the deal with how it doesn't actually end. You just keep going through the night and hopefully it gets done. And then since then, we've only gotten 1 to 2 inch storms again. But we've probably gotten 4 to 5, I'd say.
Oh, okay. That's awesome, man. We had on the 15th, we had a 2-inch clipper. Then we had that 8.5 to 10-inch snowstorm. And I'm not sure if that was the same storm that you guys got. I think it might have been. That was about 2 weeks ago. And then we got 2 more snowstorms after that, and then things kind of buttoned up for us. But that's really, really exciting. So you're 18, 19. What's your appeal to the lawn care industry as a young guy? How come you're not working at Chick-fil-A making $10 an hour? What made you want to start a lawn care business and make money on the side?
Personally, I've always done the work since I was young. Dad doesn't like to pay for a landscaper, so when you have 5 kids, you put them to work.
Sure.
And I, at first, didn't like the work. I was like, this sucks. It's just heavy manual labor, sometimes all day. And I started realizing when you have certain things, it makes it easier, and it's not just backbreaking all day, which is why I like it. The other reason why I like it more than anything else is you're not really supposed to have the windshield time, but I kind of like having the windshield time where you're able to drive around town when you have to, and you can stop somewhere, do what you got to do, but you're not just cooped up either on one job site. Some of the days you are, but not every day. You get to move around constantly, which is what I like about it the most.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I actually can relate to that when I used to work at Circuit City, which is like a Best Buy of today. And then also when I worked at Little Caesars, I would go into the restaurant at 8, 9 in the morning. It would typically be dark in Michigan. And then I would be there till 7 o'clock, 9 to 7, man, 4 or 5 days a week. And same thing. I would walk in, it was dark. Walk out, it was dark. Unless it was like the peak of July and August when it gets dark at, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. But yeah, when you're stationary like that on a job site, some people like it, some people don't. Some guys actually prefer, doing a landscape job for 3 days and taking the whole rig and crew and setting up base camp, So, to each their own, but I can relate with what you're saying about having some mobility, moving around and not being stuck on the same job site, every day. It's always the glass is half full, it's either you like it or you don't like it, but the reality is that, it's not too bad either which way, you know what I mean? Being your own boss. So that's awesome. Man. Yeah. So you have a couple customers right now, and then what are you looking to hopefully tackle this upcoming spring? I think you said you wanted to get 2, 3, 4 more customers that might carry over from snow. So how's that going to look?
I'm looking to finish getting my CDL because then I can either use that to start a trucking company, or I can just take it and go to like a municipality and work for them and then have the landscaping on the side. So I'm finishing that, but I got the town, and then I'm hoping to have about between 10 and 20 accounts, like full service type of deal, not just cut and leave,
Mm-hmm.
where you're there for the different things.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping for 10 to 20 accounts. But we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. How many snow accounts do you think might carry over to doing lawn care? You said 1 or 2?
I'd say about 2 to 3, maybe. I have 2 confirmed really that want to, but a couple of the others might when the time comes and they see that I'm still there.
Yeah.
I'm still available.
That's awesome, man. Well, way to go. I mean, hey, having 2, 5, 10 lawn customers, weekly accounts, that can put some good, cash in your pocket outside of your 9 to 5 or, working for the park and recs. When you work for those guys, what kind of work do you do? Are you on the trimmer? Are you on the mower? Or do you get some experience?
I'm mostly on the trimmer. I mostly just trim, but there are days where like we'll have to lay mulch or we'll have to trim all the hedges around the entire municipality park. I also do the fields a lot. That's a daily thing. A lot of the times we'll have to rake out the dirt, but you use a machine for it, and then you put out the lines.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's awesome, man. We see the municipality guys around here. They use a bunch of Hustler equipment, and the city of Wixom. They're really good dudes. They always wave. They're always cool. They're the big dump that we all dump at the public waste dump. They're actually behind where the DPW is. So you got to be friendly to those guys because they're friendly to you. But you see them every day, every week. So you got to make sure that you're nice over there, or word's going to get around town really quick. But yeah, that's not a bad place to learn and get some life skills and some job experience if you guys want to learn the industry. Is it going to pay very well? Probably not. You might get stuck at $10, $12 an hour.
Yeah. That's where you get stuck at. But
could always be a little better.
The benefit is if you get full time.
There you go.
You got to get full time.
Yep.
Where you get the benefits and everything.
There you go.
If you get to that, then you're in good shape. If not, it's a whole nother story.
Well, it's funny because I know they always put up flyers and now hiring signs at the downtown offices. They got one of those LED billboards, and it's always funny because it's like now hiring and you're almost like, it's like kind of getting desperate. You can tell when it's April and May and, usually they're still looking for fresh meat for the grinder is what I call it, but just having fun. So, well, hey, Andrew, let's butt it up right here, man. This is, it's cool to get you on the show. This is just a short and sweet episode. You and I had been DMing back and forth for a little while, and I want to get more people on the show, different personalities, different business size, young, old, black, white, all kinds of different stories on here, just to show that if one guy can do it, the next guy can do it. And I'm sure there's always a few tips or nuggets that we can all learn from with each other. So anything that you want to leave these guys really quick, or can they find you on social media if they want to keep up with you? But if not, we'll wrap this thing up, bud.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and that can be diversify your accounts, whatever. But either have like multiple streams of income, or have something where it's like guaranteed in the, let's say lawn care is just a side hustle or something like that. Obviously, there's people that do it full time and they're able to make it work, but just a diversified income is a very big thing in my world.
Yeah. What makes you say that, or why do you think that diversified? I think you're right, but where did you learn that, or why is that so important to you?
Because I learned that from my old landscaping boss, because he works for the DPW highway department, and then he has like 125 accounts on his personal level. But that provides him with all the security and all the benefits, and then he has the extra from his own personal.
Oh, there
company.
You go. I like that. Okay, that's a cool perspective.
2 ways to think of it.
Yeah. Well,
go
ahead.
The one other thing I would personally say is, if you're in lawn care or landscaping, try to also diversify the work you do. Like, I'm personally going for my CDL. I'll have that. I'll also, if I can't get into one of the towns or something, I'll end up going and getting my apprenticeship in plumbing HVAC, and then I have 3 companies under one. So I now have plumbing customers, I have material hauling, and I have the landscaping to provide the cash flow that you guys always talk about. So I have the multiple streams of income to support each other.
That's awesome. Well, good for you, man. I like the hustle. I like where your head's at, and give it another couple years to materialize and lay the foundation. And, we're going to have to, touch base within a couple years, if not sooner, and, see about how the empire that you're building is working. How about that? So
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome, man. Well, if you guys want to follow Andrew, he's on Instagram. He's got a smaller account, but he's still active on it. It's A&RM _ landscaping. So the and sign RM and then _ landscaping. So maybe some of you guys, north of New York in the New York state, might be able to connect with him and reach out to him. Or maybe if you're 17, 18, 19, might be a young guy to tag team back and forth. But Andrew, thanks for taking time to be on the show this evening, man. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey,
Thank you.
We'll button it up right here. We get some younger guys on the show, which I know some of you younger guys appreciate. And for those of you guys that are regular listeners of the show, maybe a little extra daily motivation here as we just bundle these episodes together for you guys to help you guys, pump through the day and keep cutting that grass and making that cash. So without further ado, let's just kind of button up right here. We'll kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to bring up the show announcements and sponsors and button this thing up. Thanks again.
Ballard Innovative Products is a full line of gear for the lawn and landscape professional. From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, X-blades, aluminum baggers, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Check out Ballard-Inc.com to help dominate and elevate your business. Ballard Innovative Products. With over 20 years of selling accessories and 30 years in the business, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. We appreciate the support and look forward to serving you this season. Stay safe and keep grinding, friends. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% at Ballard-Inc.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.